everybody. Welcome to Off the Wall 2025 Virtual Awards Ceremony. My name is Erica Krieger. I'm on the board of directors for the Maryland Federation of Art. My role is also as a creative director of Auto Vortex Media. And Julia Berzon is powering our slides today. She's our gallery assistant. And we have our juror today, Jennifer Hecker. And I'll go into explaining what we do here at the MFA. So the MFA is a visual nonprofit organization that hosts more than 40 exhibitions every year. Our mission is to make connections in the local and online communities through art with exhibitions and events in the Circle Gallery in Annapolis, Maryland, online, and in numerous alternative venues. We provide artists of all genres, medias, and backgrounds with the opportunity to exhibit work selected by professionally credentialed jurors and to be recognized with monetary awards. Artists do not have to be members to enter our exhibitions. Members have several advantages: lesser entry fees, access to networking, and additional exhibition opportunities. If you're interested in learning more about becoming a member, please visit our membership page on our website, mdfedart.com/membership. MFA, the Maryland Federation of Art, invited all artists to enter 3D freestanding off-the-wall exhibition open to artists residing in the United States, Puerto Rico, Canada, and Mexico. All eligible fine art entries in any media was considered by the juror. Selected works will be displayed in this MFA organized exhibition at Maryland Hall's Earl and Martino Galleries in Annapolis, Maryland from July 8th to August 14th. And introducing Jennifer Hecker, a sculpture professor at the Department of Art at SUNY College at Brockport, diverse artistic practice. Jennifer Hecker has an extensive exhibition history encompassing solo shows, public art, collaborative installations, adjudicated exhibitions, and permanent collections, including a 2022 residency and installation of Triangle L Art Ranch in Arizona. Award-winning work. She's received multiple national and regional awards, including first place at the Momentum exhibition in 2017, second place at Hot Glass 2017, and the Critics' Pick Award from City Newspaper in 2016. Significant exhibitions and commissions. Her work has been featured in prominent venues such as the Church and Center at Schweithfurth Art Center. Thank you. And she has completed major public commissions in La Razones es la Razón in Brockport, New York. Sorry for my pronunciations, I butchered that. Collections and recognition. Her art is held in major public and private collections across the U.S., and she has received grants from the Jeremy Foundation, Arts and Cultural Council of Greater Rochester, and SUNY Brockport. Academic leadership. A professor at SUNY College at Brockport since 1989, Hecker has taught sculpture at all levels, received the Chancellor's Award for Excellence in Teaching, and served as a department chair from 1996 to 2002. Thank you for coming today, Jennifer.
Thank you for inviting me. I assume you all have maybe read the juror statement, but I thought I'd, as a way of introducing myself and this process, I thought I'd kind of expand on it or expound on it a little bit. I do want to thank you all for giving me the opportunity to view the submissions and select the sculptures for the Maryland Federation of Arts Off the Wall Exhibition 2025. I was impressed with the variety of materials and techniques amongst the entries. That is one of the things that I've always loved about sculpture. It can be made out of anything. The sources and choices are unlimited. Of the 40 artworks by 27 artists selected, there are pieces in stone, wood, paper, steel, copper, lead, ceramic, polymer clay, glass, resin, styrene, ABS, wisteria vine, fiberglass, sewing notions, beads, fabric, and found objects. There are even human teeth molds and a cicada carcass in the works. And that really, truly, I think is a good reflection of how diverse and wonderful sculpture is. And it truly is one of the things. I'm the only sculpture teacher here at Brockport, where I've taught for almost 37 years now. So I teach bronze casting, I teach welding, I teach wood, I teach plaster, I teach all sorts of things. And I think, I don't know, I can't imagine any other kind of life. I love that kind of diversity. I went on to say in my juror statement that sharing your work is part of the creative process. Entering an adjudicated exhibition is an act of courage, and I applaud all those who put themselves and their artwork in this vulnerable position. And I just wanted to say a couple other things about that. First of all, I have this theory that kind of helps me maintain my own sort of positive outlook, that it is sort of meaningless to get rejected from an exhibition. There are so many variables on why your work might have been rejected that you can't draw any significant conclusion. I mean, it could have been a bias of the juror. It could have been your placement in the order of the entries. It could have been the quality of the photograph. It could have been just the other entries, too much of one kind of work. It's just, there's so many variables, you can't really draw any meaning from getting rejected. You can't come to a conclusion that the work was bad. It's not really valid. But the flip side of that is it is very meaningful to get accepted into an adjudicated exhibition, because it does tell you for that moment in time, your work spoke to someone. And when there's a juror, it spoke to someone with hopefully a background and a knowledge of the subject matter, the materials, the technique, the sort of the discourse, in this case, sculpture. So it really is meaningful to get in an exhibition. And then the other part of that is I also feel rather strongly that sharing your work is part of the creative process. I mean, we all come up with an idea or an inspiration or something that gets us going. And then we problem solve, we design, we develop, we putz around, we eventually get to finishing the work. And the final step is actually to exhibit the work. You really need to share it and put it out there. That's kind of really what it's all about. So I do applaud all of you for putting yourself in that vulnerable position, and congratulations to all of you and to the award winners. I really would like to see this exhibition. I asked Amani to send me some installation shots, but I haven't gotten them yet. I don't know if Michelle is at Lille is on this Zoom or not, but I did feel a strong affinity with her work. I work with found objects, and I work with glass and metal in my own work. So there was just sort of an immediate kind of connection with Michelle's work. My processes are different from hers, and I'm curious. I'm curious about some of her processes. So I think this work, it was difficult to jury. I'm going to sidetrack a minute. It's without seeing the work in person, because when I first got the entries, they didn't have dimensions, and I had to contact Amani and said, I really need to know how big these things are. And this is a good example. This piece is fairly large, 55 inches by 2 feet by 21 inches. I think it must have, it looks like it could be a pendant, like worn around the neck, like jewelry, but in fact, it's quite large and sculptural. I keep talking about size and scale, but this is another one. When I looked at this work, I pictured it at least twice as big as it actually is, which I think speaks to the presence of this sculpture. It's actually only 12 inches tall, but to me, it has a very powerful presence. The face looking up, I'm envisioning it like life size. I think the handling of the materials and handling of the materials, as well as the application of the stains and glazes and the wood firing technique, just all work really quite lovely on this piece. I love the title of it, Helios Max. I found myself with questions a lot of times. I looked at the materials here, and it says big leaf maple burl, steel post, sculpted oak base. And I can't figure out what the green circle or almost completed circle is. I don't know, is Alan here by any chance? Because anyway, I'm just curious about that. But I think this piece shows a great sensitivity two different materials. I'm working with that maple burl. Is almost sort of like, in my mind anyway, working with a found object, because it's like nature sort of created that beautiful object. And then Alan like noticed how beautiful it is and decided to share it with others and presented it in such a lovely manner. Like I said, I'm not quite clear what the greenish circle part is, but it really, the color works beautiful with the sort of orangish, pinkish color of the wood. And then, you know, even sculpting the base, I thought was a really nice attention to detail. You know, he could have just put it on a square block. But, you know, it seems like he really gave a lot of thought and attention to all aspects of the work. In this piece, I was very impressed with it, sort of like the last one, with just a really nice attention to detail, with all the different woods and with the flame blown glass. One thing when I was selecting the works, like some of the people entered like 4 works, and some people only entered 1 work. And I found that with people that only entered 1 work, I sometimes struggled because I didn't have enough sort of information just looking at this one piece by this artist to kind of get a sense of their interests or their passions or where they were going with their work. Was it just sort of a one-off? But this work was sort of the exception, because I'm pretty sure this was this artist's only entry. And I found it just very stunning and very well done. The different woods, the way the glass, the colorful glass, I'm assuming that's like a soft glass, like beadwork is what I'm assuming, but I could be wrong. It's very sort of playful, but it's got sort of this kind of, I don't know if playful is even the right word. It's got this lovely curve to it, and the colors in the glass sort of are enhanced, I think, by the beauty of the wood at the bottom, and the I know, must be the ash at the behind the glass is really exquisite. I wish I could see it in person, because I would be one of those pieces that I would get right up my nose to it to see how things are attached and how the joining was all done. Because it looks like the craftsmanship was just really stellar on the work. And Michelle again, as I said, I sort of had an immediate sort of connection, an affinity, because of the use of found objects and the use of glass and metal. This piece almost seems like it has a new function, which I found interesting, almost as if you could crank it with the reel from the fishing rod handle, as if it would turn. It seems like something from another era, and has sort of, I don't know, almost kind of sort of ritualistic maybe feels to it. And then the title, you know, refers to the brain and memory. So it all seems to work together quite nicely. Nora's work I really enjoyed, because I don't know how you all displayed it, but in the images she submitted, you saw the object, but then you saw the artist inside the object. She folds her body up to fit into this womb that she's created. So I'm sort of hoping that there's maybe photographs of that beside the work, because I thought that was very interesting, that it's sort of personal architecture, if you will. It has, you know, it resonates with ideas about armor, nests, home, clothing. I like the way she combines the fabric and the wood. The craftsmanship, again, I wish I could see them in person and get nose to nose with them, but the craftsmanship looks really well done. And, you know, they're fairly large works, 38 by 26 by 21. They're literally life size. They're scaled to her body. So I thought the work was really interesting. I'd like to see more of her work. In this work, I really, you know, I I am aware of my own sort of biases and things I really like about sculpture. And I think one thing that sort of comes through in looking at these that I selected as winners is I tend to really like combination of materials because, you know, there's sort of a dialogue between different materials, and there's kind of a tension sometimes. And I don't know, this I think is just a great example of plate steel with that fiberglass addition. Just it works lovely. You know, the fiberglass repeats the curve of the plate steel. It's got this sort of wing-like form. It's got a title of WormHole, which I'm not sure I quite get, but I just feel like that added element of the fiberglass gives it more mass. I mean, the steel is kind of bent planes, or from the side view, it's pretty linear. So adding that fiberglass gives it a little bit more mass, plane, and then the use of color. I saw it more like a wave or water, kind of a mechanical kind of wave, but very much a piece about motion and movement. So I don't know, I know I talked kind of fast, but if anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Yeah, I'm gonna go probably next Sunday. I didn't make the opening, unfortunately. Takes me like an hour to get there. Traffic was really bad, so it's gonna take an extra long time. Too much information, but I had an appointment before that, so I had a conflict. I didn't make it. Sorry. But I'm excited that you chose. I got an honorable mention, so that was awful nice, and a nice surprise to be seen. So thank you.
Yeah, it's beautiful work. That's the ceramic piece, right?
Yeah.
Very nice.
It's double faced. It's like the other side is
Oh, yeah.
the other side is like an open mouth, and it can also be a vase. So it's two faced. And ideally it should have been it could have been, but I didn't put on a wheel, you know, and people could turn it and you could see both sides, but I don't think
people can walk around.
Yeah, I thought that too.
The exercise.
Because since they were off the walls, probably on the pedestal, and I'll find that out next weekend.
Hey, Jennifer, I liked your piece. When I entered in, I wanted to take a look at the kind of sculptures that you do. And I love that piece with the two shovels.
Oh, thank you.
Can you explain what you used in that? I can't tell from the photos. Is that a fluorescent light tube as the handle?
No, it's just sandblasted glass rod.
Oh, okay. Okay.
The handles are sandblasted glass. I took actual shovels and took them apart and replaced the wood parts with sandblasted glass.
Okay.
And the shovel parts, I actually I drilled holes through the steel and then put the glass through hot. So the glass, it's not glued on, it actually goes through the steel.
Oh, okay.
And then I put the steel shovel things in the kiln with the glass because it's not going to hurt. Yeah, right. And then it's on a sort of a light box base that's also sandblasted glass. So it's supposed to, you know, I live in Western New York. We get a lot of snow and hail and weather. Right. So it's kind of a piece about that.
Oh, that's cool. No, because we've seen a lot of sculpture now is using some like neon and so forth, and I thought it had that sense of fragility as well as, you know, like a really cool yard implement, and then the fragility of a light. I was thinking that was really neat, but it's a beautiful piece.
Thank you.
Yeah, and thanks for choosing my piece in as well. I appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome. It was my pleasure. I love looking at sculpture.
Yeah. I was just going to comment, since you had mentioned the space, it's a really great space that these works are presented in. The building itself, I believe, used to be a high school, but it's quite some time ago. So it's the kind of space where the doors are tall and there's transoms.
Oh, nice.
And it's, you know, kind of the very old school wooden floors and big windows. I just thought I'd mention that.
Yeah, nice.
I will mention there is a message from Mickey Johnson in the chat that says that they live in Minnesota and they really wish they could see everyone's work.
Oh, that's nice.
Patrice, is this in the larger of the two? I can't remember in the hall. Is it the larger room
So
or the smaller one?
the part of Patrice is being played by Julie Burzon today.
Oh,
Despite
I
that it
apologize.
says that I'm Patrice, I am not. But
I got you.
I haven't actually been there. There are two galleries that are really in rooms that are across the hall from each other. So it's very easy to go
Yeah.
from one to the other. And like I said, I haven't been there, but last year both rooms were used, and
Oh, cool.
it's installed along with the art and abstraction exhibition. So you have pieces from that exhibition mostly on the walls, and then then there's all this stuff that's not on the walls.
Oh, cool.
So they put
Okay.
it very well together, because you'll find in the art and abstraction, there's a lot of things that are, it's all about form and shape and line. And then you have the sculptures, which, bring that into the third dimension. So my opinion, as far as I enjoy these two shows, particularly when complementing each other. The Martino Gallery, it says, is a 450 square foot space with 11-foot ceilings, professional track lighting, and natural light. They're both located on the second floor, which is accessible by an elevator. And the Earl Gallery is just across the hall from that, with 1,000 square feet of floor space.
Amani mentioned to me that I guess one time you all tried putting all the sculpture in one gallery, but sculpture uses up space, takes up space, and it was just too crowded. So that's how they came up with this idea, I think, of spreading it out between, two galleries and sort of 2D and 3D work.
I just want to express how thankful I am to have my work chosen, and it's your comments about not being able to see a full body of work or more examples. I do have others. I just felt very strongly about that piece, and I just felt that would be a good piece to have in just a sculptural show. But as a background for you as the juror, yes, that is soft glass. I do all the flame working myself. But the title comes from a person in a Stephen Sondheim musical called, the lead person, her name is Dot. And all of my work is just inspired by music. So just wanted to add that in.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I just I do a lot of glass and a lot of wood, and it's really fun to just and meaningful for me to have an organization and someone of your stature choose me. So thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome. Well done work. Yes. So how did you attach the glass to the wood?
Well, actually, when I make the glass, it's done with a torch, and it's, like you said, it's very similar to beads. Each one of those pieces, like the longer ones, are probably about 2 inches long. And so I don't actually take the glass off of the rod.
Just put the rod in. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I snip the end off, and then I drill a hole, and I use epoxy, and it's, takes maybe 600 or 700 hours to make that piece.
Wow.
No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so. But yeah, I just,
thank you.
Yeah, and I too would love to see some gallery shots. I'm about 1,500 miles away, so I couldn't get out there. But again, thank you very much, and I'm impressed with the diversity that you have chosen. It's just, it must be very hard to be a juror, to sit and how do you not accept something?
Yeah, it's tough.
So anyway, it was nice to see you face to face, and thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, and thank you to MFA as well.
Well, we're very grateful for all the artists that submitted their work to this show and for attending this award ceremony tonight. Appreciate you coming out and extend the thanks of the MFA.
And thank you all for giving me this opportunity. It was really my pleasure and an honor. So thank you.